Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hell Yeah Gaming, where I got to interview Zyzo Studios, the duo who is currently making the Cuphead-inspired video game Enchanted Portals. They weren't able to perform the interview but voice to voice, so we sent messages back and forth. I sent all my questions to them, they sent their answers back. So I have enlisted the help of my lovely wife Aurora here
Hello.
to go ahead and play their side of things as we record this interview for your listening pleasure. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and jump right on in. Well, let's start with the basics. Zyzo Studios is made up of only two people. Can you tell me your names and how you decided to make an indie studio together?
We're Daniel, CEO, game director and programmer, and Gemma, artist and composer. Daniel has always had the dream of working in the video game industry, and I started Enchanted Portals as a hobby project, hiring Gemma to do some concepts, art, and basic animations first, and then to create the art and music for a trailer. At first, our goal was really small. Maybe make a short game with low expectations. But as the trailer started taking form, we saw the potential in making it a full-fledged game. So we decided to team up and form a studio together.
Your upcoming game, Enchanted Portals, features two protagonists. Can you tell me their names and a little about them?
The protagonists are Bob and Penny, two rookie magicians who are a bit too curious for their own good. You can probably piece out the story from the trailer, but after one of their magic classes, they stumble upon a book they've been told by their teacher not to ever open. They, of course, don't listen, and end up conjuring a portal spell that takes them into a place between dimensions, with portals to all kinds of different realms. In the process, some of the pages of the magic book get lost, so they must go on a perilous adventure to get them back and return home safely, hopefully before their teacher finds out.
Which one of you does which kind of work on the game? Do you outsource any of the work to any third parties, such as the music composition, character models, artwork, etc.?
Daniel is the one behind the idea of the game and most of the character designs, and also the one in charge of all the programming. Gemma is the one doing all the artwork, animation, and music. For now, we haven't outsourced any of the work to third parties, but it's possible that we'll have to ask from some outside help in the future so we can shorten the production time a bit.
Let's address the elephant in the room. You're pretty open about having been greatly inspired by Cuphead, but your trailer has been met with a great amount of criticism for being too similar to Cuphead. How has this feedback affected your thought process moving forward?
Well, we definitely listened closely to the feedback, and we agree that we could do more to further differentiate ourselves from Cuphead, specifically in the gameplay aspects of the game and the soundtrack as well. A lot of ideas are being thrown around at the moment, and there's tons we'll have to experiment with going forward.
Related to the previous question, other than having a clearly different type of protagonist design, how would you say Enchanted Portals is unique from its inspiration?
Enchanted Portals has a unique setting, story, and characters. There's also some core gameplay elements that weren't present in the original already, like the ability to double jump, use shields, status effects, and events during battles that transform the players and drastically change how the game plays, water levels, and many others still in the drawing board. For example, we're toying with some RPG elements like elemental attacks and weaknesses, and also thinking about adding environmental and co-op interactions. It's still too early to say what will make it into the final game, but we'll be experimenting with tons of mechanics, that's for sure.
The trailer has shown us some familiar kinds of powers, from a normal shot to a spread shot to a charge shot, and what looks like a super energy beam. What other types of powers and mechanics can we expect to see in the completed game?
Looks like we already answered this question in the last response.
The bosses we've seen have varied greatly, from fairy tales like the Frog Prince, Greek mythology with Cerberus, actual historical figure Ludwig von Beethoven, and even a bizarre sci-fi cyborg cow. How do you decide what kinds of enemies you want to include and how they work?
The setting of an interdimensional adventure lends itself to all kinds of bizarre and fun scenarios. We can let our imaginations run wild with all kinds of different ideas. Nothing is off limits.
While Cuphead is the big inspiration for this game, what inspired you to get into the field of game design and programming in general?
We're both avid gamers at heart, and for the two of us, game design started as a fun hobby we do on the side. Our goal has always been to turn that hobby into our dream jobs. We both love making games, and nothing would make us happier than to be able to make a living out of it.
What would you say has been the biggest challenge so far in the process of making this game? Conversely, what has been your favorite part?
The biggest challenge so far has been, amusingly, everything that has nothing to do with the actual making of the game. Everything from planning and preparing, everything from the Kickstarter, figuring out budgets, taxes, and the like, setting up the social media sites and figuring out how they work, answering all the messages and emails. It's been tough given it's only the two of us, and we're not really that experienced in these matters. We've learned a lot, though. And the most fun we've had is coming up with the designs for the bosses. We've made each other laugh with all kinds of strange and hilarious ideas. Also, seeing those wacky concepts slowly take form and coming to life is really rewarding.
Your Kickstarter is launching on October 24th. Have you determined what your goal is? Could we get a tease for what some planned backer rewards are? And do you have any stretch goals currently planned?
For the Kickstarter, we'd rather not say too much since there's still some tweaks to make. We had everything pretty much planned and done, but the unexpected successes of the trailer, and also the backlash, has shaken things up quite a bit. You'll have to wait and see. That being said, some likely stretch goals are the addition of extra bosses and ports to PS4, Xbox, and possibly mobile too.
What is your favorite nostalgic game to play?
For Daniel, Monkey Island will always be a top favorite. For Gemma, it'd be The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
You can never go wrong with classics like Monkey Island and Ocarina of Time. For me, it's Majora's Mask. Well, thank you both very much for your time, Daniel and Gemma. I was surprised when you agreed to let me interview you, and you've proven to be very amiable and approachable. I sincerely wish you and your game the best. Even though I was one of the people to be critical of your trailer, it came from a place of love because I see a ton of potential in this game. I hope it's able to take the two of you to as many places as it takes Bob and Penny.
It was our pleasure. Thanks for your kind words and your interest in our game. We really appreciate it.
I like to close out all my videos with a big cheer of hell yeah. Care to join in?
Indeed, let's cheer.
Hell yeah!